You think your freezer is safe? It's neat, organized, full of quick fixes that save you on tired nights? But here's the uncomfortable truth. A lot of those boxes aren't shortcuts. They're landmines. Especially if you're over 50, dealing with blood pressure, heart health, or just trying not to feel sluggish all the time, some frozen foods quietly hit you where it hurts most. Your heart, your arteries, your energy, your long-term health. So today, we're going straight into the icebox. 9 frozen foods you should avoid at all costs, and 2 frozen foods that are actually worth keeping. Let's start with the one most people microwave without thinking: frozen burritos. They look harmless. Tortilla, beans, cheese, maybe some beef. But under that wrapper is a cocktail of salt, preservatives, and filler. A single frozen burrito can slam you with half, or nearly all, of a healthy adult's daily sodium limit in one go. For anyone with high blood pressure or heart concerns, that isn't just a bit salty. That's a blood pressure spike waiting to happen. And the ingredient list? Normally, it reads like a science project. Modified starches, stabilizers, natural flavors that often hide MSG-like compounds, and processed meat mixes with nitrates or nitrites to keep that fake rosy color. Then there's the microwave issue. Burritos are thick. Microwaves heat unevenly. The outside burns your tongue while the center can still be lukewarm, especially if there's poultry or mixed meat inside. That underheated core is not your friend if your immune system is weaker or you're older. If you love burritos, the move is simple. Batch cook your own with real beans, lean meat, and a fraction of the salt. Then freeze individual portions. You keep the convenience, but ditch the chemical roulette. Next, frozen breaded fish fillets, one of the sneakiest traps in the freezer aisle. The box screams crispy, golden, wild caught. The reality? A lot of them are breading in oil with a small strip of actual fish hiding inside. Manufacturers use thick coatings and starch to bulk up weight, so you pay for crunch more than you pay for protein. And that's before we even talk about the oil. Most breaded fish products are pre-fried before freezing in cheap seed oils high in omega-6 fats. When you bake or air fry them at home, you're effectively frying them a second time. That double fry effect means more oxidized fats, the kind linked to inflammation and cardiovascular stress. Add high sodium to mask bland or low-quality fish, and you get a salty, greasy block with very little of the heart-healthy omega-3s you thought you were buying. If you genuinely want fish for your heart, skip the breaded bricks. Buy plain frozen fillets. Season them yourself, and roast or sear them with a small amount of good oil. Same freezer, completely different outcome. Now, frozen meat pizzas, the "it's just one slice" myth. Frozen meat-heavy pizzas are basically processed meat, cheap cheese, and refined flour baked into a perfectly engineered health problem. Pepperoni, sausage, and bacon on these pies aren't the same as fresh cuts. They're processed blends with fillers, binders, and nitrates or nitrites to preserve color and shelf life. Layer that on top of thick cheese and refined crust, and you get a product overloaded with saturated fat and sodium. 1 or 2 slices can easily chew through a massive chunk of your daily saturated fat and salt allowance. And who stops at 1 slice? It's effortless to eat half a pizza and cross well past what your heart and arteries are comfortable with for the day. Number 6. Frozen pot pies. Little golden sodium bombs. Pot pies look cozy. Flaky crust, rich gravy, tender chunks of chicken and vegetables. But that comforting gravy is where the salt hides. 1 frozen pot pie can easily pack 800 to 1,200 milligrams of sodium or more in a single serving, which for many older adults is half, or even all, of the recommended daily limit. Add in the heavy pastry and saturated fat from the crust, and you end up with a meal that's dense in calories, hard on your arteries, and rough on your blood pressure. Texture-wise, these pies are built thick and dense to survive freezing and reheating. That means uneven cooking, burned crust, lukewarm center, gummy gravy, stringy chicken, and vegetables that feel papery. For seniors with dental issues or swallowing difficulties, that gluey, heavy texture can make eating more difficult, not easier. Ingredient lists often reveal modified starches, thickeners like carrageenan, and meat products instead of clear cuts of lean meat. It's not really grandma's pot pie, it's an engineered block of salt and filler. If you love pot pies, making mini versions at home with more veggies, lean protein, and a lighter crust, and freezing them yourself is a much safer way to get that comfort. Sliding into number 5, frozen breakfast sandwiches. They promise a quick, protein-packed start to the day. What they actually deliver is rubbery egg, salty sausage, heavily processed cheese, and a sodium and saturated fat bomb in a neat little circle. To keep these things intact through industrial production, freezing, and microwaving, manufacturers rely on stabilized egg products, binders in the meat, and processed cheese that melts on cue. The result: dense texture, heavy salt, and a lab's worth of additives. Many frozen breakfast sandwiches contain around 700 to 1,000 milligrams of sodium each, plus plenty of saturated fat. Eat one of these every morning, and you're setting your blood pressure and heart health up for a long, slow fight. Pair it with a sugary coffee drink, and you've turned breakfast into a metabolic ambush. A smarter move: make your own breakfast sandwiches with real scrambled eggs, whole-grain English muffins, lean turkey sausage, or just veggies, then freeze them and reheat in an oven or toaster oven. Same convenience, far fewer hidden penalties. At number 4, frozen fried chicken meals. The box shows crispy, golden chicken, maybe mashed potatoes, maybe a side. But here's what's really going on. The chicken was already fried at the factory, often in cheap seed oils, then frozen. When you reheat it at home, you're essentially refrying that oil, creating more oxidized fats and heavier, greasier bites. For anyone watching cholesterol, inflammation, or heart risk, that double fry effect is exactly what you don't need. On top of that, these meals are heavily seasoned and brined before that first fry, which means a big sodium load. Add breading additives designed to prevent sogginess and preserve crunch, and you're biting into a construction project, engineered for appearance, not for your arteries. Reheating can leave the center overly greasy and dense, which is harder to digest, especially for older adults. If you're craving crispy chicken, buy plain frozen chicken pieces and coat them lightly at home, using less oil and less salt. You still get crunch, but you're not eating a time capsule of twice-fried industrial oil. Number 3, frozen French fries. They look like a harmless side, but frozen fries are a perfect example of how something simple gets over-engineered into a health problem. Most frozen fries are par-fried in oil at the factory, then frozen, then fried, or baked again at home. That first fry locks in oil, usually cheap, unstable seed oil. When you heat them again, you're reviving old, stressed oil and increasing oxidized fats that aren't kind to your heart or blood vessels. To keep fries evenly golden and crispy after months in the freezer, manufacturers often coat them with starches, anti-browning agents, and other additives. You end up eating as much coating and oil as actual potato. And then there's the salt. Many frozen fries, especially seasoned, restaurant-style, or crinkle-cut varieties, are heavily salted. For seniors or anyone watching blood pressure, a generous plate of these plus ketchup can turn into a sodium bomb in disguise. There's also acrylamide, a compound that forms when starchy foods are cooked at high temperatures. Par-frying and then baking or air-frying again bumps that up further. If you love fries, buy plain, uncoated frozen potatoes with minimal ingredients, or better, slice real potatoes, toss them in a bit of oil and salt, and bake once. You'll still get your crunch without eating a chemistry experiment. Runner-up at number 2, frozen pasta dinners. They look like an easy just heat and eat solution. Pasta, sauce, maybe a sprinkle of cheese or a few veggies. But most frozen pasta meals are refined carbs swimming in salty, sugary sauce with suspiciously low-quality protein. A single tray can pack 400 to 800 calories, mostly from white pasta and heavy sauce, with very little fiber to slow down digestion. That means blood sugar spikes and crashes, especially risky if you're managing diabetes or weight. The sauces are often thickened with starches and loaded with salt and sometimes sugar to make up for flavor lost during freezing. Meat, if present, might be meat product rather than lean, clearly labeled cuts. Veggies are usually sparse and overcooked. It's a fake, balanced meal where the box art lies more than the nutrition label. The worst part? The texture often disappoints. Mushy pasta, watery or gluey sauce, and a meal that doesn't actually keep you full, pushing you to snacks soon after. If you like the idea of ready pasta, make your own. Whole grain or legume-based pasta, a simple tomato sauce, real vegetables, and a portion of lean protein, all frozen in single servings. You get actual nutrition instead of a tray of filler. And the #1 frozen food to avoid: classic frozen TV dinners. They look like a complete solution: meat, starch, vegetable, neatly divided into compartments. But those neat little sections are often ultra-processed calorie and sodium traps. The meat may be mechanically separated, bound with fillers and phosphates, flavored to taste like real meat but without the same nutritional quality. Sodium is sky-high to make everything taste okay after sitting frozen for months. The vegetables are often tiny portions, overcooked and low in real fiber. The starch is usually refined and heavy. You feel like you ate a full meal, but nutritionally, it's closer to a chemistry tray than a home-cooked plate. Eat these occasionally and your body can shrug them off. Rely on them several times a week and your blood pressure, weight, and long-term health are going to tell the story that the box doesn't. If you need freezer convenience, you're better off building your own TV dinners using simple frozen components. A piece of real cooked chicken, a portion of brown rice, a bag of plain frozen vegetables. Freeze in containers, then reheat. Same convenience, drastically better ingredients. Now, after all that bad news, let's talk about the good side of your freezer. Because not everything behind that frosty door is the enemy. There are 2 frozen foods that are absolutely worth keeping stocked, if you choose them right. The first frozen food that's actually worth it: plain frozen vegetables. No sauces, no cheese, no buttery seasoning, just vegetables. Frozen vegetables are often harvested at peak ripeness and then blanched and frozen quickly. That process locks in nutrients, sometimes leaving them just as nutritious as, or even more nutritious than, fresh veggies that have been sitting in trucks, storage, and supermarket shelves for days. Peas, broccoli, spinach, mixed veg, these are quiet powerhouses. They cook fast, are easy to chew, and are perfect for older adults who need softer textures without sacrificing vitamins and minerals. The blanching before freezing also reduces surface microbes, making them a clean, safe option when handled properly. The catch? You need to read the label. You want the ingredient list to be as short as possible, just the vegetable itself. Once you add sauces or seasoning blends, you're back to hidden sodium and fats. Keep a couple of bags of plain frozen vegetables and toss them into soups, stir-fries, omelets, pasta, or just steam them as a side. They can turn a plain meal into something your body actually thanks you for. The second frozen food that deserves a permanent place in your freezer: frozen berries. Blueberries, raspberries, strawberries, mixed berries. These aren't just pretty. They're loaded with antioxidants, fiber, and vitamin C, and freezing them at peak ripeness helps preserve those benefits. If you struggle to buy fresh fruit often or find it spoils too fast, frozen berries are a lifesaver. They're incredibly versatile. Blend into smoothies, stir into yogurt or oatmeal, cook briefly into a compote to pour over pancakes or porridge, or just thaw a small bowl as a simple dessert. For seniors or anyone with chewing issues, heating berries until soft makes them easier to swallow while still packing in the nutrition. As always, the label matters. Choose plain berries with no added sugar, syrup, or sweeteners. If you want to go a step further, picking reputable brands with clear origin labeling is smart. And if someone in the house has a very weak immune system, lightly cooking the berries before eating is an extra bit of safety. But in most homes, a bag of unsweetened frozen berries is one of the best treats you can keep in the cold. Your freezer can either protect your future or quietly chip away at it. On one shelf, You've got sodium-loaded, heavily processed meals that trade your long-term health for short-term convenience. On another, you could have nutrient-dense vegetables and berries that make it easier, not harder, to eat well every day. The good news is, you don't have to give up the freezer. You just have to choose who gets to live in it. If this helped you see your freezer in a whole new light, don't stop here. Hit subscribe, tap the notification bell, and stick around, because there are a lot more hidden food traps out there, and you deserve to know exactly what you're really eating.